here to help make a breakthrough program. Our set is sort of a courtroom. We have a jury, a team of idea challengers, a team of idea defenders, a friend of the court, Ernest Dixon. He's here to help us if we get into trouble. And me, I'm kind of a referee and judge. I keep order. We're going to see part one of a story. Then our challengers and defenders will wage a battle of ideas about what we're going to see. Okay, here's the story of Steve, who has to make a big decision. When anybody sees me lately, they want to know about this. I broke it a month ago, just before field day at school, so I couldn't enter any events, and I didn't get a chance to win any prizes. But I don't want to talk about my arm right now. It's something else. You see this envelope? I've had it since Friday afternoon, and it's Monday morning now. I tried to tell everybody at my house about it, but I just couldn't. I gotta tell somebody. I mean, what would you do about it if you had it and it was Monday morning and you were waiting for your teacher? Well, to tell the story right, I'd better go back to last Friday afternoon, right after school let out. I like being out in school. I like the 6th grade especially.
I think you're all going to be very secure. No people, huh?
This is Mr. Bergman. I like him a lot. He's the best teacher I ever had. I almost hate to graduate. I'm book monitor. Mr. Bergman thought it might be a little too hard after this happened, but I talked him into keeping me. I mean, gee whiz, a broken arm shouldn't ruin your life. Hey, Steve, where are you going? This is my friend Freddie coming. Mr. Bergman's going to coach us for the spelling bee. Now, after school? Why are you still here?
Miss Adams is going to give me my field day medal.
I thought they were going to give it to you on the platform, graduation day.
They are. Miss Adams said I could take it home to show my father. Then I have to give it back to graduation. My father said he's going to put it in the den, in a frame on blue velvet.
Boy.
I'll come over to your house tonight and show you, okay?
Sure. You can help me study my spelling.
I'll see you.
I know Freddie's my friend and all, but all of a sudden everybody's getting medals and here I am. Well, my father says don't cry over spilt milk. I guess that means over broken arms, too. Well, anyway, I was in Mr. Bergman's room last Friday, and that's how I got the envelope. Here, I'll show you. Oh, yeah, my name's Steve.
Very good, Margot.
Will any of the words we're studying this afternoon be in the contest Monday?
Oh, only I know that, and I'm not telling. Now, paradox. Want to try again, Steve?
P-A-R-E... I don't know, Mr. Bergman. I don't even know what it means.
Oh, sure you do, Steve. We had paradox early in the term. Anybody?
Paradox. P-A-R-A-D-O-X. And it means when something seems true one way, but is really true another way instead.
Oh, very good, Sue. And Steve himself is a bit of a paradox today, isn't he? He's one of the best spellers in the class, and yet today he's gotten every word wrong.
I didn't mean for you to hear that. Well, now you know.
I guess everybody's a bit nervous at this point. Well, I think that's enough for now. Steve, collect the books. Monday's going to be a big day, but it's only a spelling bee.
Goodbye, Mr. Bergman.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Study well, but don't worry. Have a good weekend. You'd like to win that medal on Monday, wouldn't you?
Sure I do. But everybody does.
But not everybody is letting you throw them.
Huh?
10 children were selected from the entire 6th grade. That means you were in the top 10 out of more than 70 pupils. But you'd never know it today. And I think I know the reason why.
Do you, Mr. Bergman?
You're pushing too hard. It wouldn't have anything to do with that arm, would it? And the fact that you couldn't compete on field day?
Well, it seems like anybody can win a medal on graduation day, except me.
By anybody, you mean your sister Marjorie. Didn't she win the Scholastic Achievement Medal when she graduated?
Yeah, it's on the desk in the upstairs hall, right where everybody can see it. It's been there 3 years now, staring at me.
And you'd like just one little teeny medal for that desk in the hall, isn't that it?
I guess so. I'm sorry, Mr. Bergman.
Well, you may get that spelling medal, Steve, if you don't panic. But it's not worth getting sick over. So you didn't see an envelope on the desk here, did you?
No, Mr. Bergman.
Oh, I guess I must have tucked it in here with these papers. Well, don't let Marjorie's shadow worry you, Steve. Or Freddie's either, for that matter. See you Monday, huh?
Mr. Bergman smiled all right. He saw how much I wanted that medal right off, didn't he? Well, what I just showed you in there is the only way I can think of how I got the envelope. When I picked these up off the desk. I didn't know I had it then, of course. I didn't know till later. This is where I live. My father built that fence. He's a druggist, but he builds things too. I helped him. This is my mom. She surprises me every day with a different sandwich when I get home.
Stephen!
Today it's, peanut butter and bananas on health bread. Gee, Mom, peanut butter and bananas, huh?
On health bread. Where have you been?
Mr. Bergman was called chance for the spelling bee today. Told you I'd be late.
That's right, you did. You going to win the medal?
Boy, I hope so. It's my last chance.
You have the whole weekend to study. I'll help you if you like.
Mom, if I won, would you put my medal on the desk in the hall, too?
Of course.
Would you take Marjorie's out of there and just let mine show?
Well, I imagine there's room for 2 trophies, Stephen.
Well, at least tell Marjorie she can play on records so I can study.
Now, Stephen.
This is it, Marjorie's cup. Isn't it dopey looking? Whenever I have to clean the hallway, I don't even dust it. And this is when I found the envelope. At first I didn't know what it was. It wasn't even sealed. So I opened it. And there they were, 200 words, typewritten. On the top it said, 6th grade spelling bee. And I saw some of those words. I saw enough so I knew I was in trouble. Mom? Mom? Mom?
Yes?
Mom? You see this? You know what it is.
Oh, just a minute, Steve. Hello? Hi, Edna. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, I don't think that's anything to worry about, Edna. Our income tax was questioned last year when we had all that dental work for Marjorie.
Marjorie had to have braces on her teeth, so I couldn't go to camp.
Oh. Well, contributions are a problem. Ted figures it out somehow.
Ted's my father.
Well, what did you put down for church contributions? $300? Well, there are 4 of you. $1 each every week for a whole year. And you never miss a Sunday. $300 seems very reasonable to me.
$1 times 4 people times 52 weeks. That's only $208.
Oh, I wouldn't be too concerned about it, Edna. They'll understand. Tonight? Oh, we can't, Edna.
My father's drugstore is open late on Fridays. He doesn't get home till after 9. and sometimes later. That's why we're having supper alone.
Dee!
That's Marjorie. She thinks she's beautiful. I don't.
I called you 3 times. Why don't you ever answer?
I was studying my spelling words.
When I call you, you come. It's just as though Mother called you.
It is not.
It is so. Tell him it's so, Mother.
You should answer when Marjorie calls you, Stephen.
So how come she never answers when I call her?
Because you're only an infant. Besides, nobody has to study spelling.
Well, if you're so smart, spell paradox.
Pick a tough one.
You don't know how, that's why.
Paradox. Satisfied infant.
You know, just once, I wish he'd get something wrong. Just once.
Can you spell osmosis?
I really hate her sometimes. Once I dreamt I was driving a car, and I ran over Marjorie. Then I got worried, and I peeked into her room to see if she was all right. She was. You're just jealous because you were never picked for a spelling bee.
You won't ever grow up. The cup I won was for general scholastic achievement, little boy. I wasn't interested in competing for some mousy-looking little rusty medallion.
That's all you know about it. It's silver. Real silver. Leave it alone.
Mother, guess what happened to Janie Fergus today? She bought a skirt downtown.
Good deal.
I'm talking to Mother. The ticket said $8.98, but when the clerk wrapped it, she said, "That'll be $3.98, please." That's all she asked for, $3.98.
How could that be, dear?
Well, Janie showed me the price tag. It did look like a 3 instead of an 8. Janie's so lucky. Nothing like that ever happens to me.
That's cheating.
It is not. The salesgirl made the mistake, not Janie. I would have done the same thing.
Then it must be cheating if you do it.
Janie is not a dishonest person. Mother, I won't stay in this room if he's going to insult my friends.
Stephen, we don't know the circumstances, and it's wrong to accuse a person when you don't.
She can say anything she wants about my friends. Just don't criticize her friends. No matter what they do. They could be gangsters.
Mother, he'll have to apologize before I eat at this table.
All right. I'll apologize, but what I said is true anyway. I did apologize, but I'm not going to show you that because it's too embarrassing, even for me. Well, anyway, I was studying my words that night. I wasn't doing too good. Marjorie had her records on, and I mean loud, so I moved into the hall. Now, don't ask me why I did it, but I slipped another peek at those words. I mean, there they were, and
I'm here again.
and I tried not to think about them, but there they were.
Hi, Steve. What you got? Nothing. Take a look at this. Isn't that nifty?
Boy.
Don't touch it. I promised Miss Adams I wouldn't take it out of the box.
Gee.
Read what it says on the other side.
First prize field day athletic competition.
Wow. They have to engrave my name under there. I'll bet it's worth $100.
The spelling medal's worth $200.
Go on.
It is, I heard somebody say.
You're just saying that because you didn't win this medal.
The only reason I didn't win that medal is because of my arm. Besides, I saw you in that 50-yard dash. Mr. Bergman should have disqualified you.
I know I started before the whistle. Mr. Bergman talked to me about it. He said I came in so far ahead of everybody else that I would have won anyway. He said just not to be so nervous and start so fast, so he forgave me.
Well, I would have disqualified you.
That's because you want my medal.
You probably stood there begging him.
I did not. You cried a bet. Boy, I'm never coming here again. You can do your own studying.
How do you like that? Just the same as break my arm for him, and he won't even help me study. I know it's my fault. I'll apologize to him tomorrow. Anyway, friends aren't like sisters. They don't make you squirm the way sisters do. It looks better that way.
Stephen, I think it's time for you to go to bed now, spelling bee or not. Yeah?
$1 times 4 people is $4, right?
Yes.
And $4 times 52 weeks is $208, right?
What on earth are you talking about?
Well, you told Mrs. Morgan on the telephone that $300 seemed reasonable enough to you on the income tax.
Steve, what are you this week, the tax collector?
Don't laugh, Mom.
I'm sorry, Steve. People are asked to estimate contributions on the tax return.
But what if you know first about something, like Janie in a skirt?
Steve, good people, do funny things sometimes if they're tempted by something that looks easy.
Like starting a race before the whistle?
Something like that.
Crazy, huh, Mom?
Something every person has to figure out for himself, really. What you're after has to be worth how you get it. And the other way around, too. What's this, Steve?
Nothing. Just something I have to figure out for myself, I guess. Well, here I am again, a little mixed up to tell the truth. I mean, about income tax and races and skirts and things. But if I can win that spelling bee and get that medal, I can give myself something to brag about for once. And Marjorie something to think about. I didn't mean to see those words. I mean, is it cheating if you didn't mean to see them? And anyway, it doesn't seem as bad as some of the things I saw around here today. What should I do with this? What would you do? Okay, challengers, defenders, you've got 30 seconds more to prepare. Here's how it works. The challengers will ask questions. The defenders will have to come up with answers, real answers. Then the jury will bring in a verdict. They'll decide which team did the best job. All right, challengers, what is your first question?
What would you do if you were in a situation like Steve?
Well, I think I would go to his teacher and say I picked up your envelope by mistake, and I saw a couple of the words. Should I disqualify myself, or shall I go on? If you were in this place, truly, if you were in Steve's place, would you really do that? Would you go up to your teacher and tell him that? Do you think you'd? Yes, I think I would.
Yes, I've never been in a situation exactly like this one. I mean, where I had something that I had to tell that I'd cheated or tell that, but I think if I had the choice, I don't know exactly what I'd do. I might be tempted to go on and try to slip the paper back onto his desk, but I think if you have courage enough, you should do the other way. I mean, you should.
Why do you think after he tried to talk to his mom, but his mom was, what I'm trying to say is, why didn't he tell his mom after she cut off the sound? He didn't tell her because of the way this lady had, well, he thought had cheated the government on the income tax report, so he figured, well, just something little like this isn't going to hurt. So I think he just said, oh, well, I'll just go on studying. And then he thought about it later, and that's why he tried to tell him later. Do you think that it's all right to cheat if you do it unintentionally? Like Steve did? It's still not right. It's not right. It's
maybe
still not
he
right.
didn't know that he was cheating. That if I had a blank envelope and there was a sheet of paper in it, I'd probably look at the paper too. But because I don't think I could just sit there and think, well, I wonder what's in that envelope. You know.
Well,
might be something important.
The way he did it when he looked into the envelope to see what it was, and he saw some of the words. Do you think that was cheating? Well, he had a right.
No, he didn't know.
He had a right to look into it because he didn't know what was in it. It might have been.
Well, he might have been something
for him.
What he's saying,
is it cheating what he did? Well,
it's unintentional cheating.
It's unintentional cheating, but it's still not right.
You say that this cheating was unintentional. Was the cheating that his sister's friend had done and that his mother's friend had done, was that all right too?
No, intentional cheating because she saw the tag on the skirt. She knew it was $8.98. She was told that it was $8.98 instead of $3.98.
Why do people cheat?
Because the temptation is so great that they just feel they have.
What temptations are there?
test. In a game of some sort?
You can be tempted in almost anything.
You can be tempted in just in a sport, a game. Stealing is actually cheating.
Yes.
Lying is
It's a form of
actually cheating. Is another form of cheating.
They're all connected in the same way.
You can cheat in any way.
Do you think Steve is going to look at the spelling words and is going to cheat?
No. I don't think he is.
Why?
Well, because he knows that it's wrong, and he wants to win the medal.
He wants to.
He can't cheat.
I think his self-conscience and
I think his problems take over.
In the story, he's so nervous about it coming. He's trying so hard now. He's forgetting the spelling words. Do you think that'll help?
I think he wants to, but he's just telling himself he just can't.
Because up until now, his sister Marjorie has taken all the honor and everything.
I think he would rather have not get a medal, but be able to compete. But even if something, well, not everybody can admit they did something wrong like this, and I think that even this is almost something you can be proud of, to be able to do this, and to be able to
admit you're wrong.
Admit you did something wrong. It takes a
lot of courage to go up and tell you don't just do that every day. When you see somebody cheating on a test, you just don't go up and tell on them. But I mean, that doesn't take so much courage. I mean, you just tell them and you think, well, that's it. I mean, they were cheating, I saw them. But and yet you get mad at others when they tell on you for cheating. But it takes a whole lot of courage to tell on your own self.
Have you ever cheated before?
Yes, I've cheated before.
Why?
Because of temptation. It was a small immaterial thing, and yet it was a great thing too.
Well, what kind of temptations are there? You said before, when I asked my question, you said you gave instances, and you said there were temptations. I'd like to know some of the reasons.
Well, your temptation because maybe you're a poor speller or something, and you're poor in some subject, and you have the answers in the book. Temptation in a test, maybe you're having a spelling test, and maybe the person that is sitting ahead of you leaves his seat for a moment, and you have a temptation to glance at his paper if he leaves it right side up and doesn't turn it over, or doesn't put a sheet on top of it. There is temptation.
Well, maybe you want a good grade or a good reputation, or it's a longing for something, and that's temptation. That's why you want to cheat.
Sherry, you said a while ago that once you did cheat. Well, when you cheated, how did you feel?
I felt real guilty about it.
What did you do?
Well, finally, after I thought about it for about a day or so, the next day I went up and told my teacher I cheated, and I got an F on the paper, but at least it made me feel better.
Do you think there's really a difference between older people cheating, like on that income tax, and younger people cheating, like on a test?
I think it's the same thing. It's the same.
Just as bad for adults, or maybe even worse, because they're setting a poor example for children.
Yes, it's a bad example when someone does something that affects their children. Maybe the child finds out about it, like Steve did, and it affects him. It affects his being.
And then he thinks
that's pretty bad.
Then he thinks it's okay for him to do it.
He thinks, well, if my mom can do it, why can't I?
What do you think would happen, Steve? Time's up. We'll ask the jury to arrive at their verdicts while the rest of us see how the characters in the story worked it out. Hi, Mr. Bergman.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing here so early?
Could I talk to you a minute, Mr. Bergman?
Sure. Come on in.
I have something that belongs to you, Mr. Bergman.
Yeah?
Here.
So there it is. I've been searching for this all weekend. I figured I must have put it in my desk drawer here.
I didn't mean to take it, Mr. Bergman. Honest. I don't even know how it got in my notebook. Really.
I believe you, Steve.
Only
what?
I looked inside, Mr. Bergman. I didn't mean to, but I did.
Oh.
And once that happened, accidental like that, it got easier and easier to peek in every once in a while.
I'm sorry, Steve.
And so with that envelope, it doesn't seem like such a good way to win a medal. So, I don't think I'll take part in that spelling bee today. That's the only way I know how to fix it up.
Put the green readers out, Steve. We'll be using them when we come back from the auditorium. Oh, and Steve, if they gave a medal for courage, there'd be 2 trophies on that desk in the hall right now.
That Mr. Bergman is the nicest teacher in the whole world. He's nicer than any 5 guys put together. You know something? When things look easy, like skirts and races and envelopes and things, they turn out being hard. It's all mixed up. It's a paradox. P-A-R-A-D-O-X. Well, that's all I wanted to tell you.
Will the challengers and defenders please rise and face the jury? Have you reached your verdicts?
Yeah.
How say you?
6 for the defenders and 2 for the challengers.
Thank you for your verdicts. Does the friend of the court have a comment to make on the verdict or the discussion?
Billy, this is a tough one. Unfortunately, cheating has become something that is acceptable to a large segment of our society. You hear so many adults referring to the 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught. And I think that Scott made a good observation when he said that adults set a bad example for children when they cheat. And also Scott made another good observation when he said that cheating is closely related to lying and stealing. For once we cheat and achieve an honor or a position that we do not really deserve, we're really lying. And when I win a contest by cheating, I'm stealing honors from other persons. You know, it's easy to cheat and achieve something on a false basis, but it takes courage to tell the truth and admit our mistakes and accept ourselves as we are. For some reason known only to Him, God has endowed each of us with varying talents and abilities, and it's our responsibility to develop ourselves in an honest way, the best that we can, and leave the rest to Almighty God. Well, thanks again, Billy.
Thank you. That's it for today. You might want to go on talking about it. That's what we'll be doing. This is Bill Brown. I'll see you next week on Breakthrough. Does anybody have a question you'd like to ask?
Do you think... No. Do you think that what Steve did is going to help him in the future?
Yes. Because he'll be trustworthy. Then more people will trust him.
Also, he'll have this kind of like, well, I did it before, I can do it again.
It'll be a symbol.
Do you think if any time he had did anything like this again,